Hello, Internet, and welcome back to the Story Nook. Go ahead, grab your tea, your water, your coffee, whatever it is you want, and we're going to read more of I'd Rather Have a Cat Than a Harem, written by Kozuzu Kobato, and our illustrations are done by Hinano Chano. And our subtitle is Reincarnated into a World of an Otome Game as a Cat-Loving Villainess. It's been a minute since we actually read this story. I've been greatly enjoying it, but I had requests for Villainess level 99, so I've been slowly working my way through that novel, and the next chapter I have to read is 30-some pages, and I don't feel like starting that at the moment. So let's go ahead and continue forward. Our last chapter we finished, I think, was chapter 5 or so. I don't remember. But we are on Intermission, the Matta fruit Scuffle. Let me go ahead and take a sip of water before we start. I also woke up hella early. I can't get back to sleep. My whole entire body is aching. I'm just not having, good day. I went on a rant about it yesterday in the intermission chapter of Villainous Level 99. And I'll probably go on another rant at the end of this small chapter right here. One day before Amy had adopted Tigger, she visited him at the Coverdale estate. She had become a regular feature of the house at this point, so as she was taking her usual route to the cat room, the head butler she had come to know well called out to her. He was accompanied by a maid pushing a cart. He dropped the shriveled-up fruit into the palm of Amy's hand. It was dried, brown, and roughly the size of a chestnut. "Gramps, what's this?" She had asked for his name before, but the dashing silver-haired butler had politely told her, "Please, call me Gramps. Everyone does." Amy, embarrassed and flustered, had nodded without argument. "It's a dried Matta fruit. Cats love it more than anything else, but I'd suppose one would call it an indulgence. It's been a while since I'd last procured some." Amy guessed it was something like a dried Matta fruit from her previous life. Although she knew Matta was much more intense than a catnip, she had never seen it in person before, so she couldn't exactly compare the two. But the names were similar enough. "It's an appetite stimulant, too. When I find a cat isn't eating much, I crush it up in a small amount and mix it into their food. I used some the other day, in fact, on a cat we just took in." "Really?" Amy noticed that next to the cat food on the cart was a mortar and pestle, which already had a small amount of crushed dried Matta fruit inside it. When she picked up the mortar, Amy detected a plant-like odor, but she couldn't call it a particularly strong smell. It did nothing for humans, but the smell and taste were irresistible to cats. The butler, who knew that Amy was going to adopt Tigger, would sometimes teach her different things about cats, because the butler is awesome and wants to make sure you're well informed. This must have been another one of his lessons. It's similar to alcohol for humans. Even if they want more, you mustn't give them too much of it. Amy nodded obediently, and the butler smiled. Then they entered the cat room. The cats would normally come to Amy when she visited, but today, as she held the mortar with the dried Matta fruit, they ran at her with frightening speed. "Oh, now, kitties," said the butler, trying in vain to calm them down. "Lady Amy, hand the mortar over here." "Ah!" Tigger had led the stampede, and as cat after cat climbed up her dress, Amy, with a mixture of elation and panic, was totally overpowered. She lifted the Matta fruit above her head, but just as she tried to hand it to the butler, one of her hands slipped. Before she could say the word "oops," she felt something falling, sprinkling onto her hair. She saw the cat's eyes literally start glowing, hypnotized as they were by gluttony. Just what is going on here? Oh, young master, it's been a terrible accident. I was just wondering how we could extract her. Extract who? Where is Amy? Alexander had come down because he heard that Amy was there, but he never could have predicted the astonishing sight that awaited him. All the cats in the house had piled into a heap as they chirped happy little meows. They rubbed and nuzzled against something that had fallen on the floor underneath the mountain of cats. He could just barely see the hem of a dress. It's my fault, came a muffled voice. Don't get upset with the cats. Huh? It's not the thing under there, Amy. Look, tell me not to get upset all you want, but... Oi, Tigger, you get off her at least. Aren't you totally squished? As cats clung to every single inch of her, it looked like she had been swallowed up by a sleeping bag of cats, her body entirely covered in fur. Amy was in heaven, being nuzzled by cats so ardently and fervently. But as it got harder and harder to breathe, perhaps Amy was getting closer to that heaven than she realized. Even though Ticker refused to leave her side and swatted at them, Alexander and the butler somehow managed to peel him off. They were able to pull off most of the others too. And then when only a few small cats, normal-sized cats but small compared to Tigger, remained, Amy was able to escape from Cat Mountain, totally out of breath. Hey, are you okay? I mean, you look like a mess. You're one to talk. The two looked at each other, hair disheveled, clothes totally crumpled and creased, surrounded by cats and tufts of fur. But Amy's cheeks, slightly pink, still seemed happy. Alec looked shell-shocked. He was covered in scratches and holding an overwhelmed Tigger in his arms. Only the butler looked normal, somehow unscathed. He is one hell of a butler, I would presume. Ha ha ha, enjoy that joke for that show I only watched, part of. How are you totally fine? Alec asked the butler grumpily. I suppose an old man's wisdom can be applied to many different situations, he replied serenely. Amy finally couldn't hold it in anymore. She broke out into hysterical laughter, which softened even Alec's expression. They always remembered the day Amy's merry laughter reverberated throughout the Duke's estate. It was also the day that they learned a very valuable lesson. One should not, under any circumstances, lift dried Matta fruit above one's head. And our next chapter is another intermission, which is actually only 4 pages long. So, yeah. So let me tell you what I have available for you guys while I change this title. I've got products you can buy off of Redbubble. I've got ebooks that I've written that you can buy if you're interested. I'm currently working on a series of short stories that are slice of life with a focus on same-sex couples. So I've got one written. It's not officially published, but it will be published soon. But I've got other books and stuff. If you're interested, you can just you can find them in my link tree through my Smashwords. But they're on any ebook store, Amazon, books, Barnes and Nobles, yada yada. Kobo, I believe, is one because they're all self-published. But I am gonna make a compilation book with full illustration pages. That will be released as a physical copy. So, yeah. So we're going to continue on. I also have products you can get off of Redbubble and commissions open on Ko-fi. My life's been kind of shit, and I was told they weren't sure how long they were going to keep me. at my current job. So that's shitty. Intermission, waiting at home. Tigger, where are you? The Northland family servants combed through the garden looking for the cat, one of them holding up his food dish. The Countess and her daughter were out at the royal riding grounds. The servants were trying to give Tigger his midday snack as instructed, but he was nowhere to be seen. Did you see him? One asked. No, it's weird, isn't it? He's almost always out here. There were a few places in the garden that were his usual daytime haunts, but he wasn't in any of them. I looked under those shrubs and that tree, and even on the balcony. I wondered where he went. Initially startled by Tigger's size, the servants had kept their distance from him, but as they lived together, they came to realize that he had a gentle, not at all aggressive personality, and that he had a sweet, adorable meow. But what boosted his popularity the most was his relationship with Amy, so sweet and full of love. Unfortunately, however, he was so shy that none of the servants had gotten him to be affectionate with them. 2. They would look on fondly whenever Amy and Tigger, who were equally chubby and the same size, would cling to one another and romp around. In fact, being assigned to take care of Amy, and by extension Tigger, for the day was currently the most highly sought-after job amongst the servants. If you're looking for Tigger, he's in Lady Amy's room. Oh, Claude, said the servant, taken aback by the man's sudden appearance, but he's usually outside during the day. Lady Amy's absence has made him quite lonely, it seems. Smiling, the butler took the servant to Amy's private chambers. When they arrived, the servant saw a bushy tail poking out from behind Amy's favorite pillow on her small couch. Much of his large size was visible as well, but it looked like he was trying to hide. When the servant gently removed the pillow, Tigger, lying flat on his stomach and looking totally dejected, simply turned his face away from her. They had a long, silent standoff. He's quite sulky today, the butler finally said. With a sidelong glance at the servant, who was struggling to contain herself over how cute Tigger was, Claude looked to the future and mused that whichever gentleman would one day become Amy's husband had some stiff competition with this cat. Yes, because Amy is cat lady, and also she's like 6 years old. She is too little to be getting engaged, getting married, none of that. Too little, too itty bitty and precious. She's not allowed to even consider dating until like she's 13. I feel like 13 is a good age where like you can start dating. That's like the middle school, high school age. And I say that because I feel like you should date while you're young and in school and make those fucked up relationships. Because not all first relationships work out well. But also as a teenager, every single emotion is to the extreme and everything is fucking wrecked. That evening, right after Amy and Isabel had returned home from the riding grounds, Amy had rushed to her room. But when Claude had passed by the hallway, he saw Tigger sitting right outside the door to her bedroom, staring unwaveringly at the doorknob. Oh, Tigger, he said in surprise. I thought Lady Amy had come back. What is he doing out here? Hello, Claude, said the servant standing beside Tigger excitedly. He's waiting for Lady Amy. Apparently, she went on for an unexpected trek through some thickets at the royal riding grounds today and tore her clothes, so she's getting changed right now. That's right. Tigger's a male cat, isn't he? Waiting patiently for a lady to get ready is very important. That's true, but he's also really excited for the dress she's changing into, she said, sounding close to laughter. Even as she petted Tigger, he stayed as meek as a lamb. No one in the house could resist finding the cat cute, especially when Amy's presence in the house made him more amenable to the servants. The young servant in the hallway was taking this precious opportunity to enjoy petting Tigger's fluffy fur. Claude looked confused. A dress? Yeah, because she made him stay at home and he got lonely, Amy said she was going to put on his favorite dress But her sentence was cut off by the bedroom door opening. "Sorry for the wait, Tigger," said Amy, waving the cat inside. Just as Tigger, tired of waiting, was about to jump at her, he suddenly stopped in his tracks. His eyes were glued to the long ribbons dangling from the cuffs of her dress. They were designed to be wrapped around the wrists, but Amy kept them untied as they hung to the floor. Amy gestured and waved both hands excitedly as if she were conducting an invisible orchestra. With each motion, the long, thin ribbons swayed in the air. Girl turned part of her dress into a cat toy. I like that. Her dress was just like a cat toy. Tigger kept his gaze fixed on the swaying ribbons and leaned forward, slowing his breath, switching his tail, calculating his timing. Then suddenly Amy stopped, her arms right in front of her, eyes glinting mischievously. Amy whispered, "Ready, set, go!" "Oh, that explains it," observed Claude. "He'll start playing with the ribbons when she's in the middle of putting the dress on, so he's banned from entering until after she's changed." Tigger chased the ribbons attached to Amy, the human cat toy, and she skillfully dodged him. As she squealed and laughed, the room became filled with warmth and mirth. When Tigger did finally capture a ribbon, she would hold him close and pet him. Then they would break apart slightly. Amy would shake the ribbons, and they'd be at it again. No matter how excited Tigger would get, he would never use his claws on Amy. She wouldn't have been able to play this game with him if she thought he would. Claude thought it looked incredibly fun, but also incredibly intense, and there weren't any breaks during the action. He would probably have desperately refused if asked to give it a try. Amy was already out of breath in just a short period of time. "Tigger, hold on. I need a little time out." "Oh, come on, don't make that face." "Oh, all right, just one more time, okay?" With Amy so touched by Tigger's playful mood, there was no doubt they would be at the game for longer still. "You're gonna make me lose weight like this," Amy whined. The butler and servant met each other's eyes and nodded. "This seems like a good time for a drink," said Claude. "All right, I'll bring some cold fruit water. And regular water for Tigger, too." Amy and Tigger's play session was long and energetic. Unsurprisingly, Amy had more dishes than usual prepared for her for dinner that evening. That's adorable. And our next chapter is chapter 6. So, yeah. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to copy this so I can use that to... Because I don't know if y'all know, I record these on a laptop and half the keys on it don't work. But thank you all for being here as I read I'd Rather Have a Cat Than a Harem. Here's the character page. You can all look at that. Look at them. Mom, Dad, I believe this is the big brother. I believe you're the prince and you're Alec. I believe that's who each of these characters are now. Wish there were titles. There isn't. But thank you all so much for being here. You're all awesome. I hope you all have a good day. I hope you all are staying healthy and all that good stuff. Remember to stay hydrated. Remember to eat something. I have been spiraling into a depressive mood like all day. It just has not been doing too well. So, yeah. I'm having a day. I really am. And I hope you're all doing well. I have commissions open on Ko-fi. I have a Patreon. Honestly, if I could get my Patreon. So on Patreon, you get access to like my early versions of my scripts for my main YouTube channel where I'm doing like some anime reviews. You also get some snippets of stories I'm writing if you want to read some of my short stories before I published them. Those will be there, as well as some of my fan fiction. I now am able to upload videos early, so you'll be able to see these videos early for Story Nook. If I am able to get Patreon eventually up to covering even one of my bills, mostly probably my electric bill or Wi-Fi bill, I might attempt to start doing YouTube full time, which would be nice. And if we're able to do that, I will be able to upload a video a day on Story Nook at least consistently and do live streams all the time. That just seems like a pipe dream. But yeah, I've got commissions open on Ko-fi. I've got Patreon. I'm also going to be designing probably desktop wallpapers pretty soon. I'm thinking about doing that. And you also get access to early animations that I've been working on. And then you guys, with the desktop wallpapers, I'll let you guys vote on the theme for that. And I'll have one a month that you guys can download and use. I got my Redbubble if you want to get any of my art and stickers. I publish through Smashwords. They got bought out by Draft 2 Digital. But I have ebooks available under my name that you can get through like the Amazon store, Barnes and Nobles, Kobo. I think you can even get them on the Apple Store. Most of them just cost $1. I don't make that much. I recently got a check from my book sales for like 65 cents, which isn't anything, but it is still something, and I greatly appreciate that. It went straight into a savings account until I need it to put gas in my car, because that's probably where it's going to go. So yeah, I hope everyone's staying well. Remember to eat, remember to stay hydrated, stay healthy. I am slowly fighting for depression and losing that battle. So yeah, thank you all very much. Bye bye.